And so they would say to him, who is your God? And he would keep on saying, Allah, 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 until the torture got so severe that he said, I do not believe in Allah. When they let him go, he went to Rasulullah. He said, Ya Rasulullah, I said something which my heart doesn't believe. Rasulullah said, what is it? He said, I said that I do not believe in Allah, but it's only because I was being tortured. Rasulullah said to him, the verse has been revealed about you. Man kafara billah min ba'di imanah illa man ukriha wa qalbuh mutma'innun bil iman. Surah 16 verse 106 was revealed that there are two types of people. There is the one who disbelieves in Allah after having believed. That is called a murtad, apostate. But then there is the one who believes in Allah but says, I do not believe, while his heart is in belief. That is taqiyya, when you are compelled while your heart believes. Therefore Ammar bin Yasir is another one. A third one who was a great help to Islam, arguably greater than many of the companions of Rasulullah, was the Abyssinian priest who looked after the Muslims when they were being oppressed in Quraysh. Remember when the Muslims were being oppressed, Rasulullah sent Ja'far ibn Abu Talib, the brother of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ja'far al-Tayyar. He sent him towards Abyssinia. He said to him, you will find a Christian priest who is a good man. And that Christian priest will help you. The Abyssinian black priest, Ja'far al-Tayyar reached him. Ja'far al-Tayyar was leading the Muslims, and Amr ibn al-As was leading the kuffar. Ja'far al-Tayyar, Amr ibn al-As said to the Abyssinian priest, he said to him, please, these people are causing trouble and they follow a sorcerer. Give them to us, we will kill them and finish. The Abyssinian priest said, I can't, I have to first hear what they believe. He said to Ja'far al-Tayyar, he said, what do you believe? Ja'far al-Tayyar said, we believe that there is one God, and we believe in all the prophets, and we believe in one of the prophets known as Jesus, son of Mary. And that a whole chapter of the Quran, chapter 19, Surah Maryam, is named after him. And he began reciting these verses. When he began reciting the verses, there were tears coming down from the eyes of the Abyssinian priest. If you look in Surah 5 verse 82, it is a reference to the incident. Surah 5 verse 82. And that's why, brothers, you have to take down these verses, because many of you work with Christians, but unfortunately the problem with Muslims is that they work with Christians but they don't know what to show them from the Quran about Islam. And they tell me, why hasn't he come back for us? Why should he come back? Why? For who? For people who have left their Quran? He waits for a group of people who will hold on to the book. Then he comes back to guide us. But at the moment, ghaiba continues. Verse 82 of Surah 5, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He comes to the verse about the Christians. وَلَتَجِدَنَّ أَقْرَبَهُمْ مَوَدَّةً. You will find the closest people in mawaddah. Mawaddah means what? Mawaddah means reciprocal love, two-sided love. قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا مَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى. Rasulullah said, I don't ask you for anything except love for my family. Not one-sided love, two-sided. Because they showed love towards you. How much love are you giving back to them? Love is not just, oh, I love Ahlul Bayt. Love is action. Here it says that أَجِدَنَّ أَقْرَبَهُمْ مَوَدَّةً لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَالَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّا نَصَارَى. You will find the closest people to the Muslims are those who say, we are the Nasara, we are the Christians. Why? ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ مِنْهُمْ قَسِّيسِينَ وَرُهْبَانًا وَأَنَّهُمْ لَا يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ. Because they have priests and monks who are humble people. The priests and the monks are very humble people. Whether you believe in them or no, they are humble personalities. وَإِذَا سَمِعُوا مَا أُنزِلَ إِلَى الرَّسُولِ تَرَى أَعْيُنَهُمْ تَفِيضُ مِنَ الدَّمْعِ مِمَّا عَرَفُوا مِنَ الْحَقِّ. This verse is very important. Shall I tell you why? The verse says, when they hear the words of our holy prophet, their eyes begin to overflow with tears because they have heard haqq. and they tell me crying is bid'ah. They say crying is wrong, you shouldn't cry. Quran here says, it doesn't just say they cry, it says tafidu min ad-dam. Do you know what tafidu means? Overflow, flood, flood. That when they hear the words of Islam, their eyes overflow with tears because they have heard haqq. That's why when people come and tell me, why do you cry about Abu Abdullah? I say, I cry about Abu Abdullah. If the Christian hears the words of Rasulullah, Quran says his eye overflows with tears. How about if I hear the words about Imam al-Hussein, and he is the part of Rasulullah? Therefore you found that this verse referred to the Abyssinian black priest, because when he heard the words, his eyes overflowed with tears. He heard the haqq. And so he said to Ammar ibn al-As, he said, go away, these people are under my protection. And Ja'far al-Tayyar stayed with this Abyssinian priest until the 7th year of Hijrah. In the 7th year of Hijrah, do you know what happened? Ja'far al-Tayyar left there, and when he came back at the same time Ali ibn Abi Talib had bought victory in Khaybar. Rasulullah said, I don't know which one to be more happy with, Ali's victory at Khaybar or Ja'far returning from Abyssinia. Ja'far al-Tayyar occupied such a high position in Islam that Rasulullah said, my Lord praises you constantly, Ja'far. My Lord says that Ja'far has 4 things others never had. In Jahiliyyah he never drank alcohol, and he never lied, and he never ever committed adultery. In Jahiliyyah he never drank alcohol, never lied, never committed adultery, okay, and he never worshipped a god besides me. See, I don't know which one to be more happy with, Ali's victory at Khaybar or Ja'far returning from Abyssinia. Therefore you found that the black community, whether it's the Abyssinian priest or Bilal or Ammar, and I can go on to name hundreds who were the basis of Islam, and especially in Karbala as a conclusion, a black slave by the name of John, slave of Abu Dhar, then of Ali, then of Hassan, then of Hussein. And when Abu Abdullah said to him, John, you have served us enough, Ahlul Bayt, why don't you go back? He said, how can I come on the day of judgment and say that I left the son of Fatima alone? He was a hunchback because of his old age. His back was hunched, and they put like a turban there so his back becomes straight for him, just for the event of Karbala. When he died, Abu Abdullah came and held him. And you know what the hadith narrates? It says that when 4th Imam came back to bury the bodies, when he came back, he said that all the bodies, he put them together, but he said there was no fragrance like the fragrance from the body of John. He said it was the most beautiful smell from the body of John. A black slave. And in Karbala, 16 slaves out of those who died with Imam al-Hussein, 16 were slaves. So it showed you that the position of racism is destroyed in Islam. Unfortunately, some Muslims behave like there is still racism. But our duty is to do Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahi anil Munkar, and to remind each other all the time to remove the racism that exists in some of our movements in the religion of Islam. Tomorrow we will examine the lengthy life of Luqman and other examples of those who had long lives in the Quran in relation to our 12th Imam's long life. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.